Cthulhu's mother's Fluttershy was a pillow by Amethyst Dawn. But, fortunately, no pony is harmed. The butter-coated mare let out a satisfied yawn as she felt another day begin. She had yet to open her eyes, but her schedule held nothing urgent for the next several hours, so she decided that'd be better off closed for the next 5 minutes. There was a slight breeze in the room and the faint scent of fish. She absent-mindedly decided Harry had walked in and wanted to give her fresh air first thing in the morning. He really was a dear bear. Drip. Fluttershy wrinkled her nose as a small sprinkle of what she assumed was water hit her muzzle and ran along her lips. It reminded her of the taste of salt water, tinged with a hint of cayenne peppers, which in turn reminded her to make a mental note to never invite Rainbow over for tea when she's in her pranking moods. Drip.
Oh, right.
She was snapped out of her wandering mindset once yet another chilly droplet pelted her schnoz and made her entire face scrunch up irritably. She decided to finally open her eyes before they were forcibly popped open from sheer surprise as to what greeted them like a slap in the face. Or rather, greeted them like a gigantic green claw reaching through her now broken window and holding a large, rectangular thing. For that is exactly what had been the first thing to greet her eyes. And she wasn't entirely sure how to react, until she followed the scaly arm attached to the claw, and was greeted by a 40-foot-tall golden-eyed creature with an octopus for a head staring at her through the opening. She didn't see the complete entirety of the thing, and she didn't think she wanted to, as what she saw gave her a feeling of, well, not as much fear as slight annoyance. And that puzzled her, as she felt sure that she was supposed to be terrified by this thing. Instead, she merely quirked a brow at the creature.
Yes?
Apparently that was all he was waiting for, as its claw opened and dropped the item it was holding onto the confused mare before redacting its arm. Fluttershy expected it to hurt, but all she felt was a slight poomph. Looking down as it bounced off her face and onto her chest, she saw that it was, in fact, one of those body pillows like the ones Rainbow Dash collects. Only this one was noticeably lacking of depictions of uniformed wonderbolts. Instead, this one was lime-colored, and on it was a cutesy cartoon character that was remarkably similar in appearance to the beast that was now looking eagerly through her window. Only the one on the pillow was less mildly bothersome and posed to look like he wanted a hug. She reluctantly climbed out from under her warm blankets, sat up, and looked between the cushion and the creature, and then back and forth again and again. Though she couldn't see the distinguishable mouth past the feelers on the octopus dragon thing's face, his cheeks were lumped up as if he were grinning expectantly, and his golden eyes twinkled with anticipation as he held up what looked like a camera with his lip tentacles. Putting two and two together, Fluttershy heaved a sigh and shook her head.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this.
She would have continued, and offered reason, if it weren't for the fact that the pillow was now nuzzled up against her cheek via tentacle, and the creature was giving her a pleading look. Fluttershy looked the padding over, and her eyes settled on a bizarre word sewn expertly into the bottom, right beside the feet. Cthulhu. She gave another amused chuckle of a sigh, and looked at the Cthulhu, apparently, in the eye.
I'm sorry, but
She was interrupted again by the pillow being removed from her face and bounced around a few feet in front of her as if it were dancing on her bed. She giggled at the display of childlike desperation, as it was not unlike her toddler trying to distract a parent when he'd stolen a cookie. Then the cushion was forcibly, yet somehow simultaneously gently, pressed against her chest. Fluttershy giggled again, slightly amused by just how adorable that a creature what other ponies must consider quite a terror was managing to be, which helped her keep a calm facade in spite of her now all but unnoticeable annoyance. She looked up and was greeted by Cthulhu's best attempt at puppy eyes. Finally, she caved with a chuckle. It wasn't any real inconvenience to her, and it's not like he was asking for something more serious. She slowly snatched up the pillow, leaned back on her bed, and gave the padding a platonic snuggle. She made sure to look directly into the awaiting camera with a shy smile, and grew her pupils as big and shiny as they'd get. Cthulhu gave an appreciative, gurgle? In all honesty, Fluttershy wasn't sure how to describe such a noise, and snapped the photo. After which he retreated from her cottage, fixed a new hole in the wall seamlessly with a strange golden aura, and stumped off back towards the coast. The cream-colored Pegasus ran over to the window and opened it in hopes of alerting the poor creature that he'd forgotten his pillow. But alas, he had somehow managed to be out of sight by then. Shrugging, she decided it was intended as a gift in return for the creature's insistence on a cute photo, and returned to her bed. Once she climbed into it, she decided it wouldn't hurt to nuzzle the pillow a little longer as she resumed her nap. As she did so, she noticed a particular white hair staring at her with a slackened jaw, who had undoubtedly seen the whole thing.
Well, he wasn't being unpleasant about it,
she offered, suddenly feeling guilty. The rabbit just sat there, staring in awe. Author's note: I had to try this at some point. As always, feedback is welcome. Until next time, God bless you. Amethyst Dawn.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.